Hello, hello people. DD, congrats on first. Welcome. Hope you're well. Hope you're having a good morning. It must be very early for you. Todis. Oh, well, I mean, wifey, thank you for working and lurking. Todis, good to see you. Hope you're well. Hope you had a good day. Congrats on third. Yeah, hello guys. Welcome back to, we're playing more Nightcall today. Got to try and solve at least one case in this game. I think at the rate we're going, that's probably as far as we'll go, because God knows how much longer it's going to take us. But that's all by the by. That's a future problem. Nice dancing. Oh, Toadis, I'm glad you're here. Right, I have to apologise because I didn't last week when I was talking about Kingdom Come Deliverance. I corrected you, and I didn't mean to. I just thought maybe you were sort of guessing, and I was sort of saying differently. But you mentioned about the game, being something or other 16th century, and I was like, oh no, I think it's actually like the 11th or 12th century, something like that, And I didn't mean to well, actually you, but I started up the game, and it's like in the 16th century. I was like, ah, shit. I was like, so I apologise. I didn't mean to correct you wrongly. I thought it was way back, but apparently not. It is much. It's set much sooner than it is, because I did buy it for Xbox, so I've been playing that again. Essentially, I've been playing the beginning again. I got quite far into it hours wise when I played on PC, but I haven't actually got that far storyline wise. So I'm essentially catching up, whilst also doing the odd sort of random other thing I haven't done before and stuff like that. I'm playing the game a little more mercenary than the first time round. Yeah, the combat is much easier on a console, or at least with a controller, I should say, than with a mouse and keyboard. Although it's still difficult. But yeah, so I just since I restarted, I decided I would rewatch the beginning, introduction and things like that. Just remind me of what's going on. But yeah. Anyway, so that's that. Oh, hydrate already. Sorry, thank you, Didi. And finishes breakfast with tater tots. Fine, I just picked a long time ago century in the back of my head. Oh, I see. Could be Master. Oh, I see. Right. Well, I mean, I wasn't sure if you actually knew when I was correcting you wrongly, or whether, again, whether it was either way. The fact is, I was correcting you wrongly, so I apologise. But yeah, it was. It wasn't as far back as I was thinking. I don't know why. It's sort of like that whole prior to. I guess like the 18th century. Prior to that, I'm kind of. It's all the Dark Ages for me. So it could literally fall anywhere in between, 0 and 1700, I guess, and that would be about it. I'm kind of like meh. I don't know. After that, I start realizing, I know kind of where we are. Summer, how do? How you doing? I hope you're well. Having a good afternoon, I hope. Excuse me, sorry, I just got a drink. Thank you, Didi. Tired as usual. Oh, I'm sorry. What's your plans today? How are you doing? How's things? Are you tired in general, or your work? Fair enough. Or is this? I don't want to pry too much. Actually, I apologise. I hope your health is doing well. I know that around Christmas time it was very bad, and I hope it's doing better. It's not ancient history, so all modern to me. Yeah. Some co-op gaming with friends in the evening. Oh, that's nice. Well, that's good. That's good enough. That's all we can ask for sometimes, isn't it? Just a little bit to break the tedium, keep some familiarity going, and some interaction, because it's surprising what that can really do for your health, at least mentally. Has been improving, but right now it's a bit less again due to allergies. Oh, I see. Oh, that sucks. I'm sorry, but yeah, the allergy season is round, and I still. Every year, I'm never sure whether I actually get affected by them or I just have shit breathing. I don't know. So I don't know. I just know it's not Regency, not Victorian. Go back a few more, and that's around about the right period. Fair enough. Back to the grindstone, kibble cider and chalky biscuits. I don't drink that much cider. I had one, but fair enough. Anyway, thank you for lurking. But yeah, I had a non-alcoholic, no, a low alcohol cider the other day. It's not non-alcoholic. It was 0.9%, which I think is, I have to admit, I still felt, also the cats, true, yeah. Talkie Beakies, no, I know, yeah. Num num num. Or they will hold you hostage. Yeah, right, so I realise why this is now, but the other day I was looking, I just fancied a drink. You know, like occasionally you just want a cider. For me, that is, anyway, obviously, insert your drink of choice. It's not about the fact that it's alcoholic, and it's not about, getting drunk. I only ever want sort of like maybe one. It's just like, it's not fruit juice. It's something different, and it's just a little more, it's like a little something extra to it. Just a nice sort of like adult drink you just get to unwind with. And so the other day I fancied one, we didn't have it, so I went, it was shopping day the next day, so this would have been Sunday, so I went shopping Monday, and I was looking down the alcohol aisle, and the prices have gone up ridiculously. There was a good deal for, like, if you buy multiple, it was like 3 for £6, and I was like, at £2 each, that's not a bad kind of level of cost these days. They used to be able to get ciders for like £1.50, £1.60. Drink wine coolers, they at least tasty. And an engine in the background, someone's motorbike. But now the average price for a cider is like £2.70. I mean, that's per bottle. Some people might not, might say that's not too bad, but I think that's a ridiculous cost, all things considered, per drink. And so 3 for £6, you're averaging at £2. That's not so bad. It's somewhere in between. But the problem is I didn't want 3. I only wanted 1. So I picked up 1, and I was like, okay, well, it's a treat, I guess. It's £3 basically. I'll make it last or whatever. I'll just nurse it. If hopefully it's I'll enjoy it, because sometimes the odd thing is that's the problem with kind of like alcohol. Like occasionally you go, I really fancy the drink, but then like the alcohol hits you harder than you want it to, and so you sort of have a couple of sips and you're like, no, this isn't. I'm not really getting what I want from this. So that's a shame. But I mean, you just put it back in the fridge then. That's fine. But it's just, it sort of takes the edge off the evening. But anyway, the point is, I picked up 1, and then I walked around the corner, and there were these. They had, here's our low alcohol section. I was like, I've never considered a low alcohol cider before, but when I saw the price at like £1.60, I was like, sold. It was, so it's more than £1 cheaper. So in fact, it's almost half price at that rate. But yeah, and I was just like, it was still like 0.9%, which, like I said, I thought was practically non-alcoholic. I have to admit, I was like, that's practically nothing. But then I started drinking it. I was like, well, you can still feel it. There's still like a little something there, which makes sense because the average is only like 4.5, so it's only like a quarter of what it would be, ish. But anyway, it tasted nice. It had all the good bits from cider and none of the bad bits from alcohol. So I was like, bonus. There we go. Hello, cat. Yeah, so that was good. So I'd recommend trying low alcohol options if that's what you're after. Hello. Because, like I said, it's never about getting drunk. I can't stand being drunk these days. I never really liked getting drunk in the first place. It was just always a side effect. But I used to be able to handle it a lot more. To America with cider. Yes, you're right. Yes, I've heard that. Cider is... The difference generally being is that cider is basically a non-alcoholic drink, isn't it? It's almost like sparkling apple juice, is it? It's essentially just not fermented, as I understand it, to produce alcohol and so on. Oh yes, hard cider, is that that's the difference, isn't it? That's I have to, that was confusing for translation, but not that I order. No, fair enough. Yeah, of course. It's down to the choice as well. But yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. It's not about the alcohol, although I have to admit, alcohol occasionally has like the added benefit of literally being a muscle relaxant, so you can't complain. Sometimes you're just like, especially if you like your back is aching. It actually really does help. Apple cider and orange juice with calcium, and mix them. Orange juice with calcium? Is that an extra thing, or do you just mean it has calcium in it because it's... No, hang on. Orange juice, that's vitamin C. Where do you get the calcium from? Do they just throw some milk in there? Hey, Bibana, hello. Welcome. How you doing? I hope you're well. Oh, actually, specifically ordered with calcium added. Interesting. You missed snake bite and black. Well, yeah. For anyone who's not aware, that's isn't that cider with like blackcurrant juice thrown into it, something like that. OJ with calcium, like a scotch on the rocks, but with teeth instead of eyes. Oh no! Goth drink. Well, that's not really a description of what it is, though, is it? Got confirmed. Do you mean goth? Goth confirmed. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Yes, yeah. I have a very limited diet, so my supplements where I can get. No, that's sure. That's entirely understandable. And speaking of limited diets, I was going to have a stupid phone. I know, I'm doing that all the time. I was going to have a sandwich before we started, and the bread had gone mouldy, and I didn't realise. I didn't eat it, but I picked it out of the bag like, oh, this would be fun. Oh no, it's gone green. Crumbs. So 1 pint, half pint cider, half pint lager. Oh, I'd forgotten the lager bit, topped with blackcurrant. Fair enough. It's amazing, confirmed. I know the stupid phone. I'm forever. God, I'm forever typing stuff on my phone, like in chats, and then of course you want to hit like backspace if you make a mistake, because I invariably do. You know, the amount of times I type THR instead of THE. My phone thinks it's a word because it's just like thur, and it's like, no, I mean the, just the. Anyway, so the amount of times I try to hit backspace, and then of course my fucking, fat thumbs end up hitting enter instead, which immediately posts, the mistake instead of deleting it. It's like, oh, for God's sakes. So I'm constantly having to repeat myself or just give it up. Just so long. And that's why also sometimes you have no idea how many times I've deleted a message entirely, because it takes me so long typing it and backspacing and making sure I'm backspacing instead of hitting enter, that by the time I get to the end of the sentence actually written correctly, I just think, nah, time's gone. Doesn't fucking matter anymore. It's like been like 2 minutes. People don't give a shit now. Especially if it's like a timed joke or something, supposedly. Anyway, industrial or new wave? What trad? Sisters Mercy said. Yeah. Going way back. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, I hope so. Yes, I hope you're all well. I apologise, just random stories about the weekend. We've been not up to much. We've been doing all sorts of nothing. I've been playing mostly Kingdom Come Deliverance and doing some housework. That's primarily been my my stuff. New. It takes effort, and I'm lazy. Fair enough. I know the amount of time you just sort of. I found. The amount of times I got caught in webs of lies, I just, well, not really that much, but when I was little, I used to be pretty good at lying when I was little, like, sort of, when it comes to actually convincingly so. But then I just realised I didn't really want to, and I don't like the idea of getting caught out either. It's too much hassle trying to remember shit that, you've said wrong. It's easier to remember the truth. I have to go back to work now. That's fair enough, thank you for liking it. Do you know, although that always gets me, like, occasionally, the wife watches Judge Judy, not so much now, but, back when she was on the telly, and that always used to really bug me, because, like, she'd be sat there shouting at people, saying, you don't have to think about it if it's the truth, and I'd be like, remembering it doesn't become easier just because it's the truth. You still have to remember shit, That always used to really annoy me, because I often have to, it doesn't matter. I'm not lying just because I can't remember it. It just means I can't remember shit, So that always used to really frustrate me. But anyway, yeah. So anyway, we are playing more Nightcall today. This would be the Paris taxi murder mystery solving game. Of course, all those words put together, why wouldn't you? We are on the case of the judge, who is at the moment, who is a serial killer, who at the moment we are the only surviving victim, I believe, where, we were attacked from behind. It's believed that we were attacked by the judge, and because of the same MO, except somehow we survived and ended up in hospital for a few weeks, came out, went back to our job as a taxi driver. Policewoman dug up some dirt on us and said, look, you use your taxi to find out information for me. or I'm gonna dob you in and get you fired. So now we have to pick up people, find out clues. Apparently I sound like I'm lying regardless, so oh no. Who says that? That's you never sound like you're lying. You sound like the nicest person ever, and that's the whole point. You clearly are in America. Survive a murder attempt and have to instantly go back to work to pay your bill. Yeah, yes, yeah. Well, by the sounds of it, I think he sort of wanted to. He was like, no, I'm getting back on the streets or whatever, you know. Guy out of a window, then used him as a trampoline. Oh, yeah! There was like, yeah, because, of course, all the crazy stories in the background. One of them is, he's like a vigilante superhero. Like, what was he called? It's not Batman, obviously, but something, you know. Oh, it's a nice thank you. No, that's all right. Yeah, and he jumped out of like the third story and he was like, I'm fine. It's all good. By which I mean, I assume he means like the second floor. You know, ground first, second, not, yeah, so, yeah, second, third, whatever. But yeah, it's like, yeah, and there were a bunch of Power Rangers in the background, who were missing the yellow one and all this kind of random shit. There was a lawyer. That was it. Who it turns out is the lawyer on our suspect list. I think he is, and I didn't know this, but we picked him up, and it turns out we're sort of interacting with some people, and every time we get back to our apartment where we have our chalkboard, no, not our chalkboard, our corkboard, that's the one. I'm like, oh, I didn't realise they were people I'm supposed to be talking to, but I can't remember names or faces of these little portraits. They all kind of like blend in to one after a while. But yeah, we had a talk with him, and he left behind an envelope, and we had the option to like leave with it or remind him about it, and we told him about it, and it could have apparently maybe given us some clues. They were sort of hinting at like, oh, he looked really suspicious and left kind of thing, but then it turns out he was one of the suspects, and we're like, oh, maybe we should have seen if he had more info. I don't know. So but I still felt like I didn't want to, you know, get that. I don't know. Maybe on second thought, I would have maybe taken it, but then I don't know. Anyway, right. The point is, we're still trying to solve the case, and we've narrowed it down to. I think we've narrowed it down to 2 people as our prime suspects. Hang on, let's get the game going. Because of the weapon in use. It's going to take a second to catch. Hello, there we go. Yeah, because the weapon in use is an old police firearm from like the 70s, but it's been well maintained. And so we have people who are, one of them, their father was a policeman, I believe, and one of them was in the police back then, something like that. Cool night. Oh no, oh my god, it sounds like a command, like if you had, you know, Kit, like, well, do you know what? That's one thing they never really... Right, so, okay. Anyone remember in Knight Rider? His car, Kit. What would the T stand for? It was Knight Industries something, wasn't it? And that's why it was called Kit. It had technology which we now have. I mean, it had a bunch of stuff we don't have now, obviously, but it had stuff that we have now with regards to communication. Nightblider. But it never really sort of got referenced as external technology. It's kind of weird. Like he had the, you know, the phone watch. Car is turbocharged. Oh. Do you remember they did is it Knight Rider 2000 as well, where there was like a competitor car. That was quite funny. Anyway, yeah, and so he had all this stuff built in, and now we have some of that stuff. And we just kind of take it for granted, but it is kind of cool. But it's also just randomly weird because hang on, let's get this going. Because it's things like you know, he could tell Kit to, you know, call somebody. And of course we do that now, but of course it's just, you know, crappy voice recognition and so on. And you just reminded me it'd be hilarious if it was just like, you know, call Knight. Anyway, That was a long tangent for a random thought. The open one eye. For a second, I hope the evidence board was just a dream too, but you can't make it. You can make it out in the shadows. You get up quickly. A few minutes later, you're outside in the studio. Right, ran through that because I'm pretty sure I read it last time. It's weird. We can't look at the evidence board from here, so we've just got to sort of try and remember shit. We've met this guy before. He works for like oh, I can't remember which button is what to scroll the map. He works for like the American government, I think. Basically, he's like a spy. Calling Nate. Yeah. Oh god. The eyes are about evidence with regards to our case. So since we're so close to one, we should probably go to that first. We should also make it a thing to pick up newspapers and or listen to the radio. But again, they all take time, which is time we're not earning money because we have to worry about that, apparently. But I don't recognise any of these pictures as suspects. So I don't know as if that really helps. We'd just be making some money. Police archive look like any other building in Paris. No sign, nothing to make it stand out. But this is where all the case files and criminal records are stored. You know the place well. For several months you spent a lot of time with the woman who directs it. Did we? We apparently have a criminal history. Is that what he means? Oh no, okay, she was a regular passenger, calling Polly almost every night. First as a driver and then... Ooh. You can see her shape from across the street. We got a thing with the woman in charge. Tried to prevent your brain from going there, but has a mind of its own. She's as beautiful as ever. You get out of the cab. You cross over to the sidewalk on the other side. To the other sidewalk. Helena. Helene? Helene, isn't it? Yes. There's no A. Right, okay. Helene. I'm not going to lie, I was surprised by your request. I cannot do female voices, in case anyone's wondering. That does not happen. She lights a cigarette. She still has that cold, distant look about her. But you know it's just a facade. I know that one. I know that French word. I'm hoping it's still French, I can't remember. You don't smoke anymore? Oh. Are we trying to quit? Are we trying to quit? I don't think we are. No. Light a cigarette. That first waft of nicotine and gas from the lighter. Heaven. She runs a hand through her hair. Her wedding band shines under the street lamp. You're freezing. It's a table. Sorry, it was just the tone I used then for a second. It doesn't work. Listen, I'm sure you know I'm not allowed to give you this kind of information. But if what you said was true, then you get the impression she's reaching for your side. So in theory, isn't she the... Hang on. So is this just a records building? I can't remember what it said at the very beginning. Is she in charge of the woman who's now bossing us around, the detective? Because, of course, we're an informant. No one else knows that we technically are, so she wouldn't know that. But still. Reaching for your side. Oh, okay, I get you. Hang on. So we used to be a thing. We're not now. She's married. We don't know whether she was originally, like during, you know, whether she was having an affair or not. How cold do we want to be? We don't want to step back. That's uncalled for. So we can either let her do it or have any information. Maybe straight to the point. Oh, but then she'll probably be less inclined to help us if we're being mean. It's not lead her on, but okay. I say, right, I'm going to say let her do it, because we don't have to be leading her on, we're just not actively shunning her. That's all it is. Her hand brushes over your wound. Oh, okay, yeah, I've forgotten about that bit. Think about her body, her habits, how she used to call you in the middle of the night. Yeah, right. Oh no. I fished around, and the first three victims were not part of the data leak. Okay. Yeah, because, right, the data leak, we also had that guy in the taxi. There's been like a background thing about, sort of like someone who's been... Oh god, what was the exact data leak anyway? Something about cases not being investigated properly or something. Shit. Shit indeed. That means the information about Besson, Bougrain, and the Argentinian one? Gorodisha? Jesus, the name. Yeah, that's it, Gorodisha. It all came from someone who had access to their criminal records. That help? You nod. Bits of ash from your cigarette sprinkling onto your pants. All right. Okay. I don't know. I wasn't expecting pants there, so for some reason I was going to say like palms or something like that. But it was like, why is it going onto his pants? You attempt to smile. Yes, it's better than nothing. A moment of silence. Helene takes a drag of her cigarette like there's no tomorrow. She paces a bit to warm herself up. You should come over sometime. What do you think? You grin. You and Helene used to sleep together when things with her husband weren't so good. Okay, so it wasn't a affair, okay. Oh, mischievous. That wouldn't be a good idea. I'm no bit on the side, man. She turns her head away on a soft, graceful motion. Of course. I don't know why She looks deep into your eyes. You look down. Her hands are shaking. One last smile and she puts her cigarette out. You do the same. I've got to run. Need a taxi? Thank you. You're welcome. It's the least I can do. She reaches out to you affectionately, then stops. You decide to cross the street, put some distance between you as quickly as possible. When you get to your cab, you hear her saying something. She's yelling from across the street. Also, you should stop smoking. It's bad for your health. Sure. You wave. She goes back into the archives. Okay, it's just archives. Okay. Get in your cab and rub your hands together. Time to get back to your shift. Okay. I mean, that was helpful, I guess? I don't know. But, you know, you never know. Right, okay. Who we got here? Any of these faces look familiar? That does, but again, I can't remember if I've seen it on the map or on our board. And then we got this one up here. I think we should be getting all the clues we can. And then picking up randos to try and get some money. So let's do that. And because I don't know if any of these are going that way. Oh, you slow down a bit. You've just been hit with a migraine. Oh. You crack your window. Icy Parisian air fills the cab. You need to rest. Oh, cool. You need coffee. You need to close your eyes. Just a minute. One tiny minute. Oh my god, yeah, we had some kind of vision from the future. I forgot about that. You don't need to sleep. You raise your head and you see yourself sitting in the back seat. What the fuck is going on? Yeah, I forgot entirely about that. We had like a fucking visit from the future, supposedly weird thing last time. Your gut clenches. No, it's more like someone is pulling your guts out. Oh. Yeah, I look like shit. I know. This is you on cigarettes. No surprise considering all the crap I eat, right? He smirks, or maybe it's just a smile. You can't quite tell. I've just got one thing to say. It won't take too long. You'll be able to get back to defending the weak and the poor right after. And maybe cleaning up your reputation and that pretty face of yours. Alright, calm down. I wonder I'm not in the driver's seat. You're a knuckle crack, but neither of you budged. Thank you, Didi. Thank you. Nom, nom, nom. Stretch. There's not a lot to stretch, I guess. I mean, I've only just sat down. It feels like, anyway. Let's go. I can always adjust my seat. Keep sliding on this cushion. There we go. Thank you. Oh, I'll leave that closer. There we go. Ugh. Frankly, it would be just easier for everyone. Another knuckle crack. If I were behind the wheel and you were in the back of my mind, of my conscience, a whole handful of knuckles crack, your shoulders quake. But no, that's not how this works. What do you want? Me? Nothing. You want to get out of the awful deal you made with that bitch of a lady cop. He makes a whistling with his teeth. You remember the night when the judge... He rolls his eyes. What a stupid name. Remember the night I'm talking about? Duh. You nod slowly. Say it. Say you remember. It's important. Is it? It is unfair. Just this once I'm awake and I didn't get a notification somehow. Oh, it's alright, Radical. Welcome. I'm glad to hear you're awake. I hope you're well, having a good day. We've not long started, so don't worry. You know me, you're always chatting too much at the beginning, so it's fine. I remember. When the killer attacked you, you saw his hand. Did we? He was wearing gloves. Yes, he was wearing gloves. Rubber gloves. With talcum powder on them. I know what you told that bitch. That bitch. Which has been iffy on sending notifications lately, I've noticed. Yeah. I know a few people have said that they've had no notifications at all, and then I've had it when people I have notifications set up for. I didn't see. I literally got the notification as if I'd just received it. It's like an hour and a half later. It's crazy. But it is ironic because I assure you, I get a notification every time I'm asleep that I see when I wake up. That was live 7 hours ago. Okay, I guess I missed it. Yes, yeah. I was there. You remember? I'm going to get that 25 minutes after stream start. Yeah, it's so frustrating. I'm getting more notifications via Discord now than I am from Twitch. It's crazy. Or longer. Yeah, exactly. It just racks up. It's crazy. I don't know why they... Also, what also bugs me, I think I've said this before, I apologise, but my phone does this thing when it will do nothing until I unlock it to look at something, and then it'll go, oh, by the way, here's like 5 notifications I didn't tell you about. It's like, why the fuck have you been sitting on these? Tell me when you're locked, because that's the whole fucking point. It's crazy. But then again, we've been getting that kind of thing with like we have like a doorbell, and the amount of times either the doorbell itself will ring on my phone, like sometimes even after the person's left, or someone walked up to the door to post something through the letterbox yesterday, I think this was, and my phone literally didn't buzz to say they were there until about 2 minutes later. It was crazy. That kind of delay shouldn't exist, but you know, bloody technology. Anyway, right, sorry, this guy, us in the background. I was there, you remember? I said he was wearing gloves. I'm not talking about his gloves, I'm talking about his hand. His hand? The rubber was torn and you saw something. Ooh. He stares at you. God damn it, out with it, remember? It's not hard! His voice sounds compressed, compacted, smushed. The last syllable rings in your ears like a scream. Ooh. You remember the gloved hand. The whole light shining. Wrinkles on his skin. You jump as a car flies by right next to your taxi and honks. You'd fallen asleep. After sitting still for a second, you start the car. But the image of that wrinkled hand haunts you. Oh. Oh, a cat. Okay, cat's the next one, but bear with me. I want to see what's going on further up. Oh, we never actually did reach that one. Bollocks. Well, we're doing the cat first. It's just got to happen. Crookie? Crowkey? Croaky? Whatever. As long as he's got money. You pull up to the sidewalk and wait for your passenger. Since it looks like a no-show, you get out of the cab after a minute and two to smoke a cigarette. There's not much going on in a small town or in the suburbs. There are a few apartments that still have lights on. A sweet scent hangs in the air. Sweet scent. Eventually, you stub out your cigarette and get back into your car. There, you jump, startled. A cat has managed to slip into the cab. It's sitting on the back seat, staring at you intently. You sit there for a moment, considering whether or not to shoo it away. But just as you're about to wave your hand, the cat shifts position. A slip of paper falls from its collar. Oh no, it's the judge! Pick up the paper. You pick up the piece of paper and unfold it. A fragment of a map of Paris. The Saint-Lazare train station. You turn your eyes slowly to the cat. He seems to be expecting an answer. Are you going somewhere? The cat tilts his head to the side as if to say yes. The cat judges you, definitely. You want to go to... I'm assuming that's Saint-Lazare? I'm going to pronounce it that way. The cat tilts his head again. Are you a dog? The cat slowly nods its head no. Your hands clutch the wheel tightly. The hell is going on? You turn around to face the cat. Okay, fine. I'll take you. You let out a sigh. Okay, fine. You start talking to yourself in low tones as if to balance the conversation. Normal. This is perfectly normal. You start the cab, but cast a glance at the cab behind you. You're the one who ordered the cab? You start to laugh. A few minutes go by, you try to break the ice. Simple questions are probably best. Everything okay? Neither a yes or a no, more a plaintive meow. Are you meeting someone? No, that's not it. The cat is staring at you. The conversation seems to bore him. You seem to be well fed. Pretty strange, I must say. Did someone hurt you? A plaintive meow. You sigh. Le sigh. Your owner? Another meow, but longer and deeper. More heartfelt. You nod your head. What happened? Was it a man? No answer. A woman? Was she mean to you? The cat seems to be uncertain. She was not around for you. The cat doesn't seem to understand. For instance, your owner is never home. You're bored. You want to spend more time playing. Cats could roll their eyes. He would have. Overly affectionate? Cat lets out a string of insistent meows. Touché. That's it. She is too affectionate. And that's why you are running away. The cat is watching you with a steady eye. You are sure you are on the right track. You have to be careful with people like that. They suffocate you before you even know it. Ask your cats for what choices to make. He's too busy cleaning his tail. And the other one's asleep. So we'd be here all day. I don't even think I could get his attention long enough to like snoop boop a piece of card if I held it up for him. Although that thought did just occur to me. That would be quite funny. Nod your head. I fail to see the issue. Yeah, getting nowhere with a cat in the back seat. But you ran away. I mean, lots of people like you. You stop short. But you are just a cat. You roll your eyes. Behind you, the cat lets out a quiet, reassuring meow. Go on. What I mean is, well, we don't even know we are in a cage. We prefer not to think about it. We are never fully aware of it. Oh, I thought he was saying go on to the cat. I didn't realize we were going on. Okay, never mind. You look at the cat. I must be crazy. I'm talking to a... You shake your head. You point to a light in the distance. That's Saint-Lazare. We'll be there soon. A few yards later, you stop at the drop-off area in front of the station. The first train doesn't leave for another hour. Where are you going? The cat stares at you without making a noise. Let me guess. Saint-Lazare. If you're going to be going to the suburbs of Paris, you wouldn't have needed to come into town. So somewhere in the northwest of France. Oh my god, I do not know French geography. I barely know English geography. Hang on, northwest. I mean, I'm assuming these are both generally in that area. Normandy? Somewhere by the sea, huh? The cat is looking at you and meows. A sharp sound, probably a yes. A very hungry yes. It's going for fish. For the fish, I guess. You check the time on the dashboard. It's time to go to get a real customer? No, a geography test. Yeah. I mean, a hazard you couldn't sort of necessarily guess wrong, but obviously with regards to whether it's... I mean, I knew Normandy was on the coast. That's about it. It's just like fish or not fish, I guess. You try not to think too much about the situation you're in, and you hope that no one sees you talking to a cat. Oh, keep going. I'll just start saying the names of cities, and you meow when I hit the right one. You start to list cities in Normandy. The cat doesn't move a muscle. Cherbourg? The cat looks up. So it's... Oh, is this pronounced Cherbourg? It's not Cher, is it? So it's going to be Cherbourg? I don't know. Getting close. Saint-Malo? Still nothing. I've got it. Now, is this just Deauville? Deauville? Something like that. A meow of delight. You're smiling too. All of a sudden, you're exhausted. Okay, come on. Time to say goodbye. Get out of the cab and open the back door. A bill has appeared at the seat next to the car. The cat, sorry. It is enough for the fare and more. Well, you're full of surprises, aren't you? I won't ask you where it came from. Thanks. You smile and lean over to pet the cat. It leaps out the car and darts between your legs. That's fair. You could just make out a shape dashing up a flight of stairs and slipping between the bars of a gate. You get back in the car. Le Chat. You drove Kruki to Saint-Lazare station. That's the... I couldn't tell if that came up on the stream. But yeah, that's the achievement I just got. You look at yourself in the rearview mirror. Your features are heavy with fatigue. Your right eyelid is twitching. Thank you, Dee Dee. As you start the car, you remember you're allergic to cats, but you haven't sneezed once. You pull out of the station. 11:75. Sure. Oh yeah, we're a bit closer to the eye again. Let me just double check. I don't recognise any of these faces except for the one we've already had, and he's not a suspect. So talking to him is just like a progression of story, I guess. So I'm going to aim for this, what do you call it? Evidence thing again. Hotspot. You leave your taxi behind and walk towards the last victim's building. Oh, the last victim's building. Charles Bougrain Ferrer. Bougrain? Where did we last hear that name? Start over this whole back and got interrupted, so this is like relevant 10 minutes ago conversation. Sorry, no, that's no problem. Twitch works in mysterious ways. Sometimes I get notifications fast, sometimes slow. But I tend to get notifications from closer people later somehow. US people I often get within the first 30 to 90 seconds. UK people more often 2 to 5 minutes. As for chat, I don't know where their stuff is hosted. But there is a US channel where I can never claim first because it's available first in Australia? I had to catch up. No, it's fine. Got food in the meantime. Excellent. I hope you've had something tasty. I want to ask you what it is, but you don't have to tell us. But feel free to share if you're interested. It is weird, isn't it? I mean, it's both amazing because when we consider the fact that we're running at essentially the speed of light these days. Crepe, tiramisu, and boba. Jesus. Okay, that's way more complicated than I expected. When you said you just got food, I don't know. I just thought of like a snack for some reason. That sounds really intricate. Even if it's out of a packet, that's way more complicated than I thought like a sandwich or something. But nice. I hope it goes well. I just grab my Uber Eats order. Oh, I see. Zero work involved on my part, I assure you. Well, you still had to order it. Let's not put yourself down there. And yeah, when we consider the fact that we're working like the speed of light, it's worldwide. This, information travels so fast now. It's absolutely crazy to me when you consider there were times in the past and we literally, I mean, by past I mean within my lifetime, we weren't even connected, and it feels like the level of connection has just increased in speed to the point we're now, transferring gigabytes of information constantly in to the other side of the world, and it's absolutely great. So when we're talking about things that have a global impact but have a centralized hub, to me it always feels weird that you're like, well, this company's in America, yet they'll have all their data stored in Europe somewhere maybe, and it all comes via a different continent entirely. It's absolutely crazy, but it all works because it doesn't matter, because at the speed of light everything's pretty much close by. It's very hard work. The only way I can do meals is I open up my salad. Yes, even the plastic around the cookie. Self-control to not order too much, true. Never grocery shop while hungry. Oh, unfortunately I do that every Monday because I never have do you know what's really right? Okay, here's the weird mix of it though, because every Monday I go shopping relatively early, but not so early, because I used to be like a morning person, and I like to get things out the way early, so I used to go shopping like somewhere around about like 9-10 o'clock in the morning, which was fine for me because then I get it done, that's it for the day, and XYZ. But then we found out that the one thing we wanted, which was some fresh rolls on a Monday morning, are never cooked in time, so you turn up and it's an empty shelf. So now I purposefully go a couple of hours later, which means it's around about lunchtime, but it's always before lunchtime, so I never have a chance to eat before I go. I could in theory, but it always makes me feel like my medication I take in the morning makes me feel like a little queasy sometimes. I always just want like a little snack a bit later, never not much of a meal. So I always end up having lunch when we get back, i.e. probably fresh rolls. Anywho, so I'm always hungry when I go, but the odd thing is, the amount of times I'll stick stuff on the list that, like the shopping list that I need, and then I'll be thinking, oh, I could really, like, maybe I'll just treat myself to a small cake, or some, I have like a chocolate pudding or something like that, just random stuff where I'm always like, this will be really nice, and then I get to the shop and I look at the price and I go, fuck it, I can't give a shit. Like, despite the fact that I'm actively hungry, I can't justify spending this much money, so I end up going without, and sometimes I come back with less than on the list, because I'm just like, meh, I didn't want it. I put it on the list, but I didn't care anymore, It's crazy. The bandwidth increase is huge, especially in the EU. We're lucky. I mean, literally 8 gigabit per second, both ways for €50 a month. Blimey. Which, who needs gigabit per second? Your hard drive can't even write at that speed, even if it's... Yeah, exactly. It's mad. I had a friend of ours had gigabit, and he had to transfer something to me, and he had like his own he was a tech guy, so he knew all the terminology. He had like his own like little server setup kind of thing, and he was like, yeah, here's the link for it, and this thing was like 20 gigs, and it downloaded within the minute. It was just done. It was absolutely crazy to me, because I was like, holy shit. When you have the dedicated speed to it, it can really just happen. It's everything else that slows it down. Like you said, like my computer can't like download stuff quick enough. Like the amount of times, that's why I know I go on about it a lot, but like updating games like Cyberpunk, it's always out of date, because every time I go to play it, it's out of date, and it takes me like 4 hours to update the game, because it downloads a whole new copy of the game seemingly. It's like, oh yeah, we just need to update the game, so we're going to download 70 gigs. It's like, fucking hell. And that 70 gigs, I can download at speed, but my computer cannot process it quick enough. So it's just like, fuck this shit. It takes hours and hours and hours to install the game. Can't be bothered. Whatever. It curls up in a ball into my pile first. I got a backup drive synced with Google Drive, 2.8 terabytes. It got done in a few hours. A decade ago, it was 20 gigabytes was a huge deal. I know, it's madness. I always remember, like, again, I feel like I've said this before. I apologise. I forget what I've said to people and what I've said on stream, or just in my head sometimes. But I remember way back before, some people, like, obviously, you know, younger generations now would completely they not even realise the fact that streaming just wasn't a thing, and it would be earlier than we would expect. So I mean, it obviously happened, you know, in a limited amount or a limited capacity much earlier. But when you're talking something like when like YouTube came along and you had active streaming of videos within websites, that was a big deal, because not only was it just something that computers didn't process much because the browsers didn't do it, but you know, you had to have an internet capable of streaming video, you know. And I just remember way back, like in the late 90s, we had our PC, and I used to go onto this website to show to see like film trailers, and you'd have to download the film trailer separately because it wouldn't stream, because of course that just literally wasn't a function. It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't a function. Sorry, I used the wrong word entirely. And so you'd have to just download it, and this would only be a film trailer. So we're talking 2.5 to 5 minutes, depending on the film, and at decent quality, so probably 480 maybe, you know, at best. And that could easily take sort of like 20 minutes. And this was like the top speed our internet could do at the time, because it was still dial-up then. It was absolutely insane. And so to consider that, like 20 years later, you know, a fraction more maybe, okay, 25 years later, we're you know, we're looking at just constant data transfer of speeds that were just sort of impossible to comprehend, you know, at that time. It's madness. Anyway, Jesus, that's a lot going on. Sorry. Right. Well, I'm glad you got your food. It sounds lovely. I hope you have hope you're enjoying it. Yeah, in fact, actually thinking about it, we just updated our internet plan, because I got an email weeks ago, maybe even months ago, saying, hey, you know, your contract, because we signed up for a contract to get a limited, you know, a limited price, you know, so it was like, hey, this thing, and that was like 2 years ago. It's like, hey, it's running out and it's about to go up, and I was like, right, I better deal with that. Anyway, weeks went by, I completely fucking forgot, and I got an email saying, okay, contract's up, your price is going up, this is how much it's going to be. I was like, shit. It's always more than you want it to be. So I immediately sort of logged on, and I went through, and I was able to get a better package. It's still more than we were paying before, but that was going to happen, because of course in like the last 2 years prices have gone up anyway. That was bound to happen. But it's only like a couple of quid more, as opposed to, you know, quite a bit more. So but we just signed up, and it was actually cheaper to sign up for a higher speed than we already had than it was to just continue on with what we had. That was a bit crazy. So we've now got double the speed and less price than it would have been, you know, to continue as we were. So so in theory, as of today, we're running at something like 900 megabits or something like that. I can't say I've noticed any difference, but again, I'm constantly throttled by my PC being a piece of shit. So, you know, I'm never going to notice, I don't think. Maybe when my Xbox decides to update, but that's always fucking fast anyway, you know. I'll give it almost 18,000 times faster than 56k demo. Jesus. 18,000 times. That's insane, isn't it? Just like, God. Per second, I could download 18,000 2.5 minute trailers at 480p. You know, in 20 minutes. On the upside, bandwidth inflation easily beat up regular inflation. You got one win. Let's not count the losses. True, yeah. Oh, yeah. Anyway, right. Sorry. Okay, back to the game. Sorry. Charles. Bograin Ferrer? I can't add an accent to that. I have no idea how to apply that. But we did just see this name, didn't we? Again, I think that was when we were talking to the woman, was it? Was killed in his parking garage. So that's the last place. The large metal garage door is firmly closed. Look for another entrance. Well, there's got to be another entrance. They don't go in through the garage, but still. You walk around to the back of the building and look at the various entrances. The main one, the garage door, and a maintenance door for the trash cans. Maintenance? You've barely taken a step when a voice calls out to you. Concierge. Hey, what are you doing? This is private property. You turn around and see a rather elderly man, probably the concierge. He shines his flashlight in your direction. I'm a taxi driver. Taxi driver? You got no fucking business here. Can I ask you a question? You have trouble making out his face, but you can see his eyes bug out. Go, get out of here before I call the cops. You leave the lobby. The concierge follows you and checks to make sure the door is firmly shut behind you. God damn it. Go, get the fuck out now. You make your way back to your cab. You glance back at the building. Furious concierge is gone. You settle in behind the wheel, short of breath. Short of breath? Why? God damn it. Okay. I fucked that up. I don't think we can re-enter it, can we? Let me just check the portraits going on. Oh, we've got Santa again somehow. Can I retry it? No, okay. Oh, wait. The map moved just because it centers itself occasionally. Okay. No, nothing new. Okay. Well, looks like we're going to be aiming for some fares then, because we've made very little money today. Alright. I haven't picked up a newspaper. Perhaps I'll do that next time we're near a petrol station. Charles de Gaulle Airport. Sure, okay. Herva Rao. Okay. Your next passenger is alone and waiting for you on the sidewalk. She gets in the cab and whispers. Didn't need 18,000 times faster anyway. I remember downloading those Britney Spears songs only took 7 minutes. And if 7 minutes feels long, it's because your attention span has shrunk down to 0.8 seconds. Exactly. Although I would accept that maybe the download shouldn't be longer than what you're downloading, in principle. So, you know, but the odd thing is that goes the completely opposite way, doesn't it? So, I mean, you know, a book, because it's all just text, would take, you know, would download very quickly, instantly, practically. But would take me fucking forever to read. But then a film only takes a couple of hours to watch. Might take forever. Yeah, but yeah, so a 7-minute song, as long as it doesn't take... no, a 3-minute song shouldn't take more than 3 minutes to download. Other than that, I think you just, you know, it's just a matter of patience. She gets into the cab and whispers, that's it. Hello. I'm not going to whisper, because you won't be able to hear me that well. She has no handbag or suitcase, just a small handmade sign with an Indian name printed on it. Charles de Gaulle, please. She's young, with a soft and slight accent. Her face shows no emotion. Her fingers play with a small chain. Jesus, the way this is, that makes it look like her neck is like that tiny bit we can see there. It looks like she's on a stick. Small gold chain around her neck. The only piece of jewellery she has on. You drive, glancing back at her from time to time. Her head seems to be elsewhere. Everything all right, miss? She nods her head gently, cracking a tiny smile. It's really early. The first planes to come in are the worst. Everyone is exhausted and half asleep. I see, right. Yes, exactly, and she sighs. Le sigh. I must confess I don't really want to go there. Excuse me a second. My phone is buzzing. What's this? Oh my god, okay, it's the doctors again. Jesus Christ. They keep complaining. They're literally, every day I get a message from them saying, you haven't logged into your hospital portal thing to look at your details. And it's like, you won't let me. You haven't signed me up yet. I've done my bit. I'm waiting for them to complete the registration and they won't fucking do it. So every day they're on at me to bloody sign it. Anyway, sorry. Okay. It's all by the by. Bring back the mood. A tiny smile lights her face up for a split second before disappearing. Your family? My future husband. Oh. Well, future. We've never even met him. I've never even met him. Her accent suddenly becomes stronger. You know this habit well. Just before confiding in you, passengers tend to relax into their natural accent. I'm sure he's a great guy, as they say here. Sadness appears in her voice. But I don't know him at all. My parents chose him, of course. Crazy, isn't it? Are you shocked? No. Sad smile washes briefly over her face. It's tradition, or at least it used to be. My parents are a bit old school, even by current standards in India. I chose to study here and not in England like my sisters. She flashes a smile. I fell in love with Paris and I decided to stay. I almost never go home. Actually, this is home now. Anyway, my parents insisted I meet him. He decided to make the trip, saying he had a meeting as a pretext. Ooh. Do we really want to get defensive? I mean... Right, this could go one of two ways. Either we aggravate her because we're essentially insulting not her way of life, but her family's way of life, and she knows this. We're not going to tell her anything she doesn't already know, and we just end up, looking like, the outraged individual, casting judgment. Or she doesn't really want to do this, and by saying we understand that this is wrong, she may get some confidence from it and say, you know what, you're right. I shouldn't be putting up with this shit. And I'd like it to be that one. But I don't really know where this is going to go. I mean, but we're just a taxi driver. Is that really our job to say? I love the fact that it looks like we basically got to the end because I'm so busy thinking about it. Oh, definitely not the top one. I want to say this one. I'm not sure how it's going to go, but I want to say this one. No, you don't understand. This is just the way things are. And I knew it would happen one day. They've been talking about it for ages. I tried to avoid the subject. It's understandable from their perspective. I mean, it worked for them, right? You sense something bubbling up. Anger before she freezes. Some people refuse to let their emotions out. She slowly regains control of her body. What day trips would you recommend outside Paris? Nearby? She nods. Versailles, of course. It's really beautiful. Definitely worth it. Her face lights up. Oh yes, perfect. I'm sure he'll like that. Fontainebleau? I have no idea what that is. Oh, I'm going to recommend it in case it tells me. There's a huge park, very wild, if he likes hiking. I don't really know. She smiles shyly. Well, that's the point. You don't know, do you? He might be a nice guy, but you don't fucking know. He could be a fucking mental patient. You have no idea. You prefer to say nothing. The airport is not much further. Something about the young woman makes you feel uncomfortable. She looks as if she's about to scream, but is holding it in. Time passes and silence fills the cab. Which terminal? Your question startles her. Terminal C, 2C, I think. It's supposed to be a nice day. Did we know that? Is it? Yeah, it's pleasant enough. Smile crosses her face, then quickly disappears. Yes, I hope so. Thank you. You park the car in front of Terminal 2C. Look, thank you for the alert, Dee Dee. The passenger grabs her sign and exits the cab. She pauses for a second as if she were about to say something. Then she disappears. Hey. Wow, $10 tip, nice. No, €9 tip, basically, whatever. Guess the point is you can't help everybody, if that's even a thing. Oh my god, look, it's the Masked Avenger again. Oh, what? What? We have to go all the way down there to get to him? Look at that shit. These roads are mental. We'll just go with the nearest one, I guess. There's no point wasting time travelling to individuals. I said I'd stop for a paper, but there's no point. Oh, Charles de Gaulle Airport. It's literally around the corner. Sure, okay. Take it. Your passenger slips into the backseat, dragging a backpack that apparently weighs a ton. Do you want to put that in the trunk? She refuses politely with a shake of her head. Thanks, but I'm going to have to get used to keeping it with me. I'm going to be on my back for an entire month. It's going to be. You smile and start the cab. A glance in the rearview mirror. Your passenger is rather young and the camera around her neck looks very expensive. Her backpack, scarf and clothes are fairly worn. Well, it's not vacation. It's not... It could be hiking. Let's just ask. She doesn't answer right away. She lowers her eyes. I'm on my way to Greece to join an NGO rescue vessel. Okay. NGO? An association that helps migrants trying to make the crossing. Oh, I see. And I'm going to do a story on them. Oh, I see. Right, okay. So he's like press, I guess. Oh, are you a journalist? She smiles, the first since you set off. Yes, a photojournalist. Makes sense. They make the crossing even in winter? I imagine it's going to be pretty tough. Isn't that dangerous? Well, we know they make the crossing all year round. Going to be pretty tough. Tough, yes. Going to be very hard. But I want to do it. I volunteered. I even made a fuss to go get the assignment. The tone of voice is increasingly shrill. Oh, okay. I did not know that ahead of time. I read first-hand accounts. I talked to journalists who have worked on the subject. I can't just ignore the whole thing. She gives a short laugh. I even played a video game about refugees. Beautifully done. Really powerful. Okay. I knew I couldn't just sit back and watch. This is my chance to show the world what's going on there. Your passenger's phone starts to ring. Oh, sorry, As she glances at the caller name, her face freezes. She sighs, a troubled smiling flicking across her face, then takes the call. Hi, Dad. Oh, no. I'm in the cab, right? Yeah, I told you. I'd try, but he wouldn't change his mind. Come on, Dad. I already told you I'll be fine. They wouldn't be sending me there if they were... She moves the phone a bit further from her ear. Come on, Dad, stop. Dad. Listen, everybody's going to be fine. I'll be there for 20 days with a group of professionals who have been doing this for years. That's right, a group of rescue professionals. Would you just stop? She sighs heavily. It's no use. She's been down this road 1,000 times. Help her out. You're about to get to a tunnel, mademoiselle. You're going to cut out. The young woman looks up at you in surprise, then her face lights up. Did you hear that? I've got to go. I'll call you back as soon as I'm... She's interrupted again. That's right. I'll call back. She hangs up wide-eyed and breathes a long sigh. A sigh. My parents. They can be a little much at times. She smiles. Anyhow, thanks for jumping in there. You can sense the tension, the wave of frustration and anxiety welling up inside of her. Her unhappiness and anxiety are palpable. She closes her eyes, collecting her thoughts, trying to dispel her negative emotions. If I had only a little time. Time for what? Time to do yoga. It really helps me relax. It's an amazing way to unwind, to calm down and release tension. There must be a yoga room somewhere at the airport. I could pull over if you'd like. She looks at you closely, not sure what to think. What do you mean? There's a gas station up ahead, a rest area for truck drivers. There won't be anyone there right now. Alright, sure, why not? Just stab someone to relieve the stress. Seems to be popular around here. Yeah. Why not? There's no more talk for a few minutes. Your passenger glances out the window every now and then. You drive past the gas station, the main building, the trucks, and get to a small, quiet rest area. A clearing lit up by your headlights, and the moon suddenly appears. There is no one around, the air is cool. The young woman leans in towards you. Is this the place? You nod. It's incredibly calm, as if we were in the middle of the woods. Ooh. Her eyes take in every detail, every tree and bush. You come here often? Why? What's with this face? It's creepy. Whenever I can. Every now and then. She nods. She understands. It's so quiet. Even in the middle of winter, it looks so peaceful. She reaches for the door handle. You won't leave without me, will you? Of course not. She gets out the cab and puts her things on a picnic table. Wind is chilly, she shivers. She gives you one last look, then closes her eyes. For a minute or two, you watch her doing yoga exercises. Her eyes remain closed, her face gradually starts to relax. The truck behind you pulls out of the rest area. This place has a calming effect on you too. Some summer nights you come here to take a nap. The young woman is stretching now. The headlights cast off shadows among the dark foliage. Cast soft shadows, even. In the winter, you smoke a cigarette or two, waiting for potential clients to land. The young woman gets back in the cab. She says nothing. There's no need. You sense she's recovered her calm and is ready to face the rest of her journey. You drive away, leaving behind the clearing, the rest area, the gas station. The young woman is sleeping. Oh, blimey. A little too relaxing. The road keeps passing by. Before long, you're approaching the airport. Why did I think the word "you" was in there somewhere? A moment later, you turn down the radio. Song fades. You pull up over here. I'll pull up over here. It'll be easier for you to get out of the cab. You get to the airport drop-off zone. A couple of colleagues greet you with a wave. A few bleak-looking passengers are struggling with huge suitcases and car trunks. A security guard sitting on a luggage cart smokes a cigarette, clearly exhausted. The passenger pays the fare, collects her things, but doesn't leave the cab. Thank you for getting me out of that horrible phone call. I love my parents, but they are suffocating. It could have gone on for hours, so thank you. I have to go now. I have the feeling my parents are going to call again. Might as well go in where it's warm and I'm not a disturbance. Good luck or take care. Take care of yourself. I will, promise. She gets out the cab with all her gear. Your eye follows her as she heads to the terminal. The airport doors close behind her. You sit there a minute or two, all by yourself. There's no one around. May as well head out as soon as possible. Tell me you're running off to be a Scientologist. And that was it. It was just round the corner, so we only got like €5. Okay. We're basically back where we were a minute ago. Again, I don't recognise any of these portraits. That one could be familiar, but I mean, Jesus, that would take the rest of eternity to get there. These are so close by. This guy seems to take an awful lot of taxis. He's all over the place. We'll just go with the closest guy, I guess. Why not? Well, closest person. Who is a guy? Phil Bourgeois? Charles de Gaulle, make it snappy. Jesus Christ. You're just round the corner. Walk it, for fuck's sakes. Whatever. We'll take the journey. The passenger who settles into the back seat could be a male model. He asks you to take him to Charles de Gaulle Airport. His voice is mild and pleasant. You sense your passenger wants to talk about the killer. It's simple. Since the first murder, everyone thinks they know something. You sense he wants to talk about it. How does that come up? Let's go with the closest guy, I guess. Taxi driver or grinder. Why not both? Taxi grinder sounds crazy. Everyone thinks they saw something. And this passenger is no exception. Oh. You watch him in the rearview mirror as he adjusts his clothes, checks his breath, obviously primping. You drive people to the airport all the time. They bring along a suitcase or a bouquet of flowers. Your passenger doesn't have either. He's looking at himself in the rearview mirror. His lips part and he runs his tongue over his teeth. Ooh. Nothing stuck in my teeth, right? Shake your head no. You wonder why he's going to the airport. You're wondering why I'm going to the airport, aren't you? Yes. I could tell you were curious. I'll tell you, but it's a secret. Or read a Pornhub series. Oh no, probably. His voice has changed, as if he were about to deliver a speech. Women today are too smart for us men. What? Too smart. They're on to us the minute we try to hit on them. Okay. He crinkles his nose as if it were a bad smell in the cab. There are dozens of books on how to get lucky, on how to score, but they'll all make the same big mistake. Do you know what that mistake I'm talking about is? They're written by men? I don't see why that's a problem, after all. Deer don't write books on hunting, do they? What the fuck? This would be for pissing women off and getting no game. 11 husband slurs. Hi, Rizalka. Welcome. I also like the fact that there's a stray A in there. It's my recipe. But, how are you doing? I hope you're well. Hope you've had a good day. This would be... Yeah, it must be pretty late for you by now, I would have thought. Well, maybe not that late now. What, somewhere around about 9 o'clock? 10 o'clock? Something like that? I can't keep track anymore. I'm lost. I'm lost. I'm in pain, but I'm cozy with you. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope it isn't too severe and it's something that will clear up soon. But welcome. Thank you for being here. Hopefully being cozy is all you need. He smirks. No, let me tell you. All those books about hitting on women never tell you where the best hunting grounds are. Oh, a theatrical pause. Airports. Another theatrical pause. I love going from an annoying 8 to C. Oh, okay. Doorbell's just gone. It's alright. Wife's downstairs. What all the buzzing was about. Searing pain with your hips when sitting. Oh, jeez, I'm sorry. We've streamed from bed for a while, I would say. Oh dear, yeah. Well, we still get to see you stream, so that's good. But sorry, it hurts so much. Get to see this thing? Oh no, yeah. Anyway, sorry, back to this guy. It's brilliant, right? Women at airports are lonely, emotional, and available. Me in an airport, I'd punch him in the ball back. Exactly. He's a smarmy twat. On the street, they're always in a hurry, don't have any time. At the movies or in museums, they don't want to be disturbed. But at the airport, he's clearly very proud of himself. He remains silent. He crinkles his nose and sniffs again. Is it me or is there a funny smell in your cab? It's you. You're the funny smell. You sniff too. Sorry, I don't smell anything. He shrugs, then goes back to his monologue. Although we did have someone throw up in it the night before. Hopefully that got cleaned up probably. You're about to become a statistic. Personally, I prefer older women. Okay. Let him talk. He likes that, obviously. Single moms who are at the airport to pick up or send their kids to their exes. Jesus Christ. That was emotional in an airport. Having a big dude. Yes. Smacked a dick with my cane. Yeah, that's fair, yeah. Smack. Yeah, waiting at the unaccompanied minors counter to get information about a late flight or a gate change. What? I walk over to the counter, look at the flight information, pretend to be worried. My sister, I say. I'm waiting for my little sister. She's never been to Paris before. I'm going to take her to the Louvre. She wants to work in fashion someday. She's already very talented. Jesus Christ. How many times does this fail before you have spoken to every woman there and she's heard it all? I hope everything is okay. She's had a good flight. She means the world to me. Can we become the serial killer? No. We could just do it once. That's fine. We already know the MO. We could have just blamed it on the judge. It'd be fine. Starting with Phil, yeah. She's my half-sister, but I love her like a sister. Oh, Jesus Christ. Single ones. Named Brittany, age 64. A smile. He takes another sniff, glances around the cabin, and picks up where he left off. Jesus Christ. The half-sister line, it works every time. Divorced parents, remarried. Every time. He bursts out laughing. Let him keep going. A word of advice, though. You have to get there early. Make a day of it. Keep an eye on the domestic flights, the delays, the companies. Turn on the radio, please. At the airport with someone else telling them you were waiting for a child's... I know, I was just immediately thought that as well. I was like, what happens when this story fails? They find out you just played them. For what? And also, what kind of... like, okay, so there's no long term here because he's going to be found out. So he's thinking short term. You know, what, quick hookups? You know, random dates, somehow they're going to, you know, not find out. But then how do they also not realise that he's turned up to do a thing? And why do they go, right, he's here to meet his sister, I'm going to go sleep with him? No, because he's busy meeting his sister. And when she doesn't turn up, they're going to be like, what, why not? I can get another niece, let's go back. Yeah. Young Andrew Lloyd Webber. Yes, yeah. It doesn't make any sense. His plan is shit. Just want a quick bang. He's definitely afraid of intimacy. Well, there is that. It maybe not intimacy, but maybe, you know, you could play a little bit of a long game getting the occasional, you know, if he's really interested, I guess, you know, get a couple of dates before the bang. You know, play them along a little bit, but still. It falls apart. It falls apart immediately. Flight delays, companies. It requires a little preparation, but I usually go home with 20, even 30 numbers. He just gets a number? Jesus Christ. In 6 hours, not bad, eh? Well, if you could monetize it, you might be rich, but otherwise, you're just a twat. I think we interrupt him now. Excuse me, do you mind if I ask you a personal question? You have to grow a personality. That was a fake. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, they're all exactly the same, but incremented by one. No, of course, of course, not at all. Anything to help you understand my game plan. Telemarketer of dodgy one-nighters. Yeah. Do you realise you're a total asshole? We have to be professional here. We are still trying to make money. What do you do after that? Do you really need to go through all of that? I'm not sure I understand what you're getting at. Well, you're rather attractive physically. Oh no. Don't inflate his ego anymore. Slight pause. And is it really necessary to go to all that trouble to pick up women? So that's fine. Yeah, exactly. We can shout it in our head all day. Don't women like you? That's beside the point. It's more efficient, more productive. I go on the make twice a week and I end up with dates for several weeks. Wait, hang on. Twice a week, several weeks. What is this, every week? Because at the moment you're running, you know, several weeks ahead. How does that work? And it's also a lot easier. It's less, how should I put it? Personal. Yeah, okay. I know it won't ever get serious, and that's what I'm looking for. You see what I mean? Not sure I want to. You're afraid of women? What does that have to do with anything? You talk about women as if they might hurt you. So you hurt them to protect yourself. Ooh, get inside his head, man. Fuck him up. He bursts out laughing, but you can see he's uncomfortable. Wow, you're a shrink and a cab driver, am I right? I have to say, it's a great idea for drumming up more business. It's a downright revolution. Another nervous laugh. We're talking about scoring, eh? Here. No need to get all worked up. It's not like anyone died or anything. There's a slight tremor in his voice. They don't want to give me their number. They don't give me their number. Andrew Lloyd Webber when he's wild. I have to admit, I don't see it personally, but maybe I just didn't see enough of him when he was younger, because he's just an old wrinkly man now, isn't he? I don't get a lot of numbers. Yeah. I never insist. And a lot of guys do stuff that is a lot worse, right? So enough of the feminist bullshit theory. Wait, hang on. Saying someone else did it worse is no defense. That means you know what you did is wrong. It's just not as bad as other people. It's like saying, hey, look, I know eating cake is bad for me, but it's not cyanide, right? So, you know, I could eat it all day and be better off than if I was to eat something poisonous. It's like, no, that's not how that works. The cab pulls up at the drop-off point. Your passenger pays the fare in a hurry. I got an achievement. You were straight with Phil, le pickup artist. He climbs out of the cab and turns around, somewhat hesitant. To be perfectly honest, you shouldn't talk to your passengers like that. His voice takes on an unpleasant, whining tone. It's not very professional. If I had an app, I'd give you a bad rating. He squares his shoulders and is about to walk off. You should wash your cab too. It smells like shit. That may be true. He walks away. Under the sole of his right shoe, you catch sight of a dark brown spot. Oh. That's why it smells like shit. The passenger disappears into the airport. You roll down the backseat window and start at the cab. Great, thanks. Let's around here with freshly poured foundations. Maybe. Bite you in the bum. I had a seafood fried rice that was delicious on Monday for lunch. I was sick all night. Maybe I should have bought cake instead. Well, yeah, there is that. Off to the car wash. Yeah. Right. Ugh. €4 wasn't worth it. I mean, look, our money's barely going up. Okay, let's let this pop it. Ah, there's him again. He might be our last for the day. Why? This one's flashing. Why is that? I still don't understand why some of them flash and some of them don't. But it was take us all night to get there, let alone complete the journey. So I'm not doing that one. I want to go with it's this guy, whatever he called himself. Raining. Why would we need a car? Oh, interior. Gotcha. Less driving and more mugging. Yeah, this guy's the vigilante hero. We've seen this face before. I can't remember if he's been a passenger or not. We definitely haven't met these two. Maybe the flash ones are story points? Maybe? I don't know. I'm still not really sure. Haven't narrowed it down. Sure, let's go. It's going to take up the last of our night. Pulling up to the sidewalk in a calm, nondescript alley. Another alleyway. No sign of your passenger. Cobblestones gleam calmly underneath the street lamps. Cat jumps from one building to another. Really? That's a fucking agile cat. Two men are fighting in the shadows. Oh no. You sit up abruptly. Something is shining in the darkness. One of those Japanese sabers just reflected off a street lamp. Sabers? Seem like a samurai sword or like a katana or a lightsaber. Guy's wearing a mask. It's a robbery for sure. No, we've had this guy before. He's a vigilante hero. A ninja robbery. He's hilarious. You put a hand on the door handle, ready to run. The saber falls to the ground and the sound rings throughout the alley. One of the two men crumples. The other walks towards your taxi with determination. Japanese saber equals katana. I guess so. Fair enough. It's a katana. At the very last minute, just as the door is about to open, you recognize a passenger from before. One who thinks he's a superhero. Yeah. Xavier. We can go. Same address as last time. He appears to be out of breath, but his voice is calm and poised. Let's just get out of it. You put your foot on the accelerator. Behind you in the rearview mirror, you can see lights in several apartments flick on. Apparently, the fight woke up some of the neighbours. He stops, out of breath. Are you hurt? Yeah, I'm okay. I like a good saber, but like an extension of my arm, whereas a long sword is a bit hefty for a single arm. Okay. I don't have much experience with swords. I own a couple, but they're like show ones. They don't mean anything. So, I have no real experience with real stuff. Get saber. I'll take that. I'll take that into consideration if I ever need a sword. Sabers are handy. He tenses his muscles. His chest inflates. He catches his breath. In the space of a few seconds, his heartbeat has returned to normal. I'm sorry, but... Another deep breath. I think I shit my pants a little. Oh, no. It's alright, we've already got to clean the place anyway. Hard to say since he has a mask on, but you're pretty sure he's looking you straight in the eyes. But don't you worry, there are no marks. I was just so scared. When he pulled his katana out, man, I was like, that's it, it's over. You had a good life and now he's going to cut you up like a turkey. Cousin's best friend partner did medieval reconstruction fights, so he invited me to learn a bit when I lived there. Nice. A friend of ours has got a couple of swords on the wall. They're like reenactment ones where they're actual swords, but they've crimped the the point so they don't stab. Basically, but I've never sort of held or carried either of any of them, so I don't really know their weight. Like I said, I've got a couple of fake ones, but they don't really. I'm sure they don't compare. Like hatchets, sabers, and bastard swords. The long sword and shield wasn't very balanced for me. That's fair. I mean, to be fair, it's a long sword. It doesn't sound like it should be too easily handled in, a single hand. That makes sense. But actually, I handled it. He pauses, nods. You sense him sitting up straighter. Yeah, I handled it. I handled the hell out of it. But what happened? I'm investigating a sort of organization, like mob types, They're forcing kids to work in this squat. They're sorting through jewelry, wallets. Sometimes they're sent out to panhandle. That's handling it, right? Yeah. Girls are sent to... I mean, you get the gist, right? But the police aren't doing anything about it. Typical. Why? No idea. First off, the kids aren't French. No. The organisation is tied to the Albanians and this not-so-nice German guy. They have ties with an extreme right-wing organisation with connections to 2 police captains. I came to get photos. I want to alert the press. Outside, an ambulance crosses your path. No sirens, no lights. It's almost like a moving van. Almost like a moving van. It is a moving van, but I think he means a moving van. So when you're turning the car around, you got a sword for me? Yeah. And while I was going about my business, that guy jumped me with his katana. Scared me to death. He paused for a while. His body's radiating heat. Any hotter and he'd start to smoke. It's really risky. Yeah, it's dangerous, but that's not what's most important. He clears his throat. What I'm about to say will probably sound pretty weird, okay? Or more than before. Oh, he doesn't have a sword. The other guy did. Yeah, the other guy pulled the katana on him. Another breath. This one deep and long, almost moving. That's... I'm willing to bet that's not his next word. That's a weird thing to say right now. True, it is. Since I've been chasing the organisation down, I really feel like I'm doing something useful. Like I can really make a difference. And shit, that makes it all worth it. He pauses. Would it be okay if I just got some shut-eye for the rest of the trip? I think I need to. He falls asleep mid-sentence. You crack your window to let some fresh air in. Trip continues in silence, with you at the wheel and the masked hero in the backseat. What if you'd taken martial arts classes? What if you had known how to defend yourself? Maybe that night... You shake your head. There's no point thinking about it. He or she snuck up on you. Attacked you from behind. You still have about 10 minutes left before reaching your destination. What is that word? Newly? Newly. Is that where he lives? Newly always has the same effect on you. One of surprise. Farts constantly in his sleep. You're surprised to be reminded of this town next to Paris. Oh, it's a place. Okay. Calm, pointless, unremarkable, boring as hell. long last you pull up in front of the driveway you dropped your passenger off last time. A chair from a French brand at my last job. Oh, okay. Right, okay. Well, I assume it's a place that is. That would make sense. Yeah, I've never heard of it before. I must have heard of it last time we dropped him off, but I'd forgotten that bit. He wakes with a start. Already? He grinned. You were asleep? Yes, already. I could have slept for about 20 more hours. Well, it's not a taxi ride. He glances at your dashboard. I have an essay to turn in 6 hours from now. Wish me luck. Oh yes, of course. Yeah, he's a student as well. Good luck. Thank you. He sighs and stretches for a while. Something in his neck cracks. Ooh, ow. Anyway, shower, breakfast, essay, sleep. That's the plan. He pays the fare and rushes into his building a few seconds later. You sit alone. You sit still, alone. Trying to come out with... Once the coast is clear, you check the back seat to make sure it's clean. It is no trace of blood. You sigh in relief and drive off. And that's us done for the day. Take our money. We're not too bad money-wise, but you know. You now know more about your clients. Check the Pasidex for more details. The judge? No, that's not the judge. That's us. That was us in the backseat. Company car maintenance spending. Ugh. Made a loss of 122. Current balance 244. We got to be drawing in more money. Oh yeah. Crew key to the station. We've met Perva, okay. Met a cat, yeah. we met and had a conversation with a cat. We drove it to the train station because its owner was being overly like attentive, and and it was catching a train to the coast for the fish. Annabelle did yoga. Okay, these just carry on anyway. Take a few minutes to update your board with the new clues. A bus goes by, making the walls shake. Jesus, what's the bus running on? They're probably wearing earbuds, but it looks like a tampon. Oh, sorry, Dee Dee, hydrate. Thank you. Thank you. Right, okay. So what have we got? Oh, okay. We don't have any more files. It just gave us more info, so it's probably up here on the board, and I can't tell what's where. Got a fort with victim 1. Victim 1, molester, never arrested. Okay. Why is that connected to him? He's blacked out. Why is he blacked out? Did we cross him off the list last time? I can't remember. Because we've narrowed it down to retired cop. Dad was a cop. These two have a motive, but I don't think they have the means. It hasn't ruled them out. Yeah, because the weapon was a police gun from the 70s. Used, but well kept. 52, you deserve this. See, it's weird. I just don't know how we're pulling this information together. It feels like there's so much more we don't have that could really narrow it down, which suggests we're meant to speak to these people individually more. We need to try and keep track of these pictures. I've got to try and remember these pictures. Now, what we really need to think about is, do I go for another night or do I end it here? Because another night is like another... Oh, Jesus, that's like an hour and a half for another night. I can't... I don't know when it auto saves between nights. If it does, I don't want to have to get maybe half an hour in and then redo that half an hour if it only saves at ends of days. So we'll call it there for today because I don't want to I don't want to start another night right now, basically. So we'll end this night and it should auto-save. With a heavy hand, you wipe your tired face. Slide onto the open sofa bed. Events of the day run through your head. Streets, the passengers, their faces, their problems. You open one eye. Your back aches. You'd like to close your eyes and go back to sleep. Get up quickly. And a few minutes later, you're outside of your studio. Night 5. Don't know how we got through like nights 1 and 2 so quickly. But I guess most of that because it sort of runs through pretty sharpish. Okay. Let's have a look who we got here. Okay. Although, robot, nice. Let's have a quick peek. See, I don't know how... I can't... Between sessions, I can never remember... Oh, see, there's no more clues. So it's just... It's almost practically pure profit today. We're just going to be getting stories. Nice. I don't know how often it resets these. Like, when I quit and I load up, will these be the same people in the same place? I can't remember, because I never keep track of it. But don't worry. We'll worry about that next time. Okay. So we'll call it there then. Let's, yeah. There we go. Okay. Right. Let's have a look. We got, I've only got one person to go to. They are playing the original Fallout. If anyone has any other recommendations, let me know. Otherwise, we'll head there. I say one person. There's a couple of like big people gaming, but they don't need us. They let them do their thing. That's fine. But
and I love spunk.
Who doesn't? Thank you, Dee Dee. Thank you, Sapphire. Very kind. So yeah. So we'll be back day after tomorrow, which is Friday. There's one guy I know, but it's like he might be finishing up soon. Unfortunately, I hear he's a twat as well, so it's not worth it. Thanks for the stream. No, thank you, Todis. Thank you everybody for being here. It's always lovely to see you all. Appreciate. I hope you have if you're still here, Summer, I hope you have a better day and feeling better soon. I hope you're back. Is feeling better, Rizolka? I look forward to streams, whatever they will be, wherever they're from. We'll be starting about 7:30 BST. Good reminder, thank you. Anybody who's not familiar with Ikifu, he's a hilarious, funny, but chill guy. Streaming evenings at 7:30, 7:30 BST, which is 6:30 UTC, if that's of any relevance to anybody.
I protest. I am not a merry man.
Thank you. That is, I didn't realise how loud that was. Pick up after him. A normal time on Thursday. It's a public holiday here. Ooh, nice. Okay. Thanks for stream. No, thank you for dropping by. I appreciate you staying and lurking. Also, 8-Bit Bunner is she streams on Tuesdays and Fridays. Don't forget that. You can catch up with pretty much everybody I recommend on my Discord if that's of any interest. The link is somewhere in chat. I think it got posted up earlier. Boop standard time, exactly. Boop standard time. So yeah, thank you for all the hydrates, Dee and the other redeems, and thank you, Rizolka. I hope you're feeling better soon. Thank you for dropping by, Todis. Anybody else, if I haven't mentioned you, said thank you. Apologise, but I hope you're all doing well and have a good couple of days. I'll be back Friday with more Room. Well, it's the Room 2, and that should be the end of that one before we move on to another one, because they're only short games. And that'll be it. So, yeah. So let's start this here. Raid. Oh, God. Phone, don't close when I'm trying to type things. Thank you. We're going to go see Bosk playing Fallout, because why not? get that started up. Yeah, there we go. He's normally a No Man's Sky streamer, but he plays a bit of random other stuff occasionally. And recently he's into Fallout, and I do love those. I've never played Fallout 1 and 2, but they're right up my alley. So one day I'll get around to it. But they're very good. So let me just start that up. Get that. Make sure my volume's down. Yeah, there we go. Okay, yeah. So we'll do that. So. Oh, in fact, he might be coming towards the end, but whatever. We'll jump in. We'll see what he's up to. So, yeah. Thanks, everybody. Take care. Have a good rest of your time zone, and I appreciate it. See you later. Bye, everybody. Bye, bye, bye.